Dosta cvrkuta i pejzaža, već je postalo sve gnjavaža, a i mravi gnjave me u travi. A ona išta bi niti da je ptice bude, gdje su livade i mirišu trave i neba se plave. Ma srce moje ne budi luda, bit će na bolje 100 puta na zadnjem sjedištu moga auta. Živote gnjave, smrti gnjave, mrzim priče, šuplje glave i mudrace, uvijek iste face. A ona išta bi niti ti se ludo igra, da se izigra i da me ljubi, kad ne vide drugi. A dušo moja ne budi luda, bit će nam bolje 100 puta na zadnjem sjedištu moga auta. Svi gnjave, i to preko glave. A ona išta bi neki da obuče finu novu haljinu, tako stvarno, izgledana stalno. A ja joj kažem, ne budi luda, bit će nam bolje 100 puta na zadnjem sjedištu moga auta.
Ko sidro veže mrak u meni polako kopni strah. Ova ljubav je bila priviđenje, nije ovo moje vrijeme. Do zore je ostao još koji sat, a vani nemir ko da je rat. Oblačim kaput i odlazi da sve zaboravi. I opet nam plove brodovi, a ti više za mene ne brini. Koliše sam vjetar me raznosi, vukovi umiru sami. I opet nam plove brodovi, ti više za veže mrak u meni polako kopni strah. Oblačim kaput i odlazi da sve zaboravi. I opet nam plove brodovi, a ti više za mene ne brini. Koliše sam vjetar me raznosi, vukovi umiru sami. raznosi u koji umiru sami i opet raznosi u koji umiru sami ko lišće sam vjetar me raznosi vukovi umiru sami. Zagreb 12 points, hvala puno.
Otići iz ovog smiješnog grada i da me pusti da spavam. Luda noć, ja sam momak na lošem glasu u ovom gradu, ako si ti, a ona kaže luda noć. Ja sam bila mamina princeza, sve do sad i ne znam šta mi bi. Od tebe traže, jutro je već, ali tebe traže, šta će tata reć? Ne, bitanga i princesa par.
Bila jednom u tim davnim danima Grabovčeva lijepa kći, gdje iz kamena voda teče na Hercegovu tlu, gdje iz kamena raste cvijeće u dušman tuče, mlado tijelo ubija. U oku joj gasi nevin sjaj. Molitva je na usnama bila joj za kraj. Umre tijelo, al duša ode u Gospin zagrljaj. Diva grabom ževa, zauvijek na nebu sja. Teče voda Hercegova, tamo gdje bi njezin kraj. Pogledaj u oči našim ženama i kad vidiš jedan divan sjaj, to je diva Grabovčeva, još je ona živa, znaj. Teče voda Hercegova, tamo gdje bi njezin kraj. Diva Grabovčeva, zauvijek na nebu sja. Teče
Heyo,
voda Hercegova,
heyo, heyo, heyo,
tamo gdje bi njezin
heyo. Oh, damn.
kraj.
I swear to God, she moves. I swear to God, she moves. She keeps on moving. I put her in one spot, she's in the next one. But heyo, how are you doing? I'm getting my kitchen today. So we're probably gonna do a short stream, because I'm getting my kitchen today. We'll actually see. I don't know when it's coming. They said anytime between 4 in the afternoon and 9 in the evening, which is a 5-hour time slot. Well, I really don't know. Whenever it comes, it's going to be too early. But still, be hyped for me, alright? Big news today. I gotta walk you through big news. I wanted to cancel the stream, and then I saw Russia was burning, and then I was like, I can't cancel the fucking stream now. It's gonna look really, really bad. Russia is burning. We gotta celebrate that. So yeah, Russia is burning. I don't know if there's any news as like something fresher than what I've already seen. But what I did see is that the situation is interesting. The situation is interesting. They are claiming so far, the Russian volunteer corps are claiming to have control of one village, which is already a nice amount. Let's say it's a nice amount. So I'm quite happy for that. Was really, really happy seeing the news today. I've got a bunch of saved posts on it, a bunch of saved updates. Also news, smaller news, less relevant news. Andrew Tate got arrested again, which I don't know how much you cared about Andrew Tate. That didn't really particularly, but did something. Plus news number 3. For some reason, Vatican has chosen to backtrack after Pope's little speech, how Ukraine should have the courage to negotiate. So I thought that was interesting, because this is like second time. I think the first time they didn't do it, right? Because the first time when he said something stupid was when he said that NATO has been barking on the doors of Russia. I think Vatican did nothing about that. Second time he said something stupid was when he said that Russians should be basically celebrating their empire, the history of their empire, remembering the legacy of it or whatever. And at the time Vatican did try to soften it down, and then we saw the whole interview and it was bad. And this is like the third time that he has said something strongly supportive of Russia, and they keep on trying to backtrack again. I'm confused why he's allowed to speak on the topic. I don't know how much he chooses the topics in his own interviews. It's confusing to me that they don't have like a press official or something to be like, hey Pope, maybe we shouldn't do this again. You know, three times already you've spoken in favor of Russia. I think at this point your message is clear, right? The message that the church hasn't really changed their way of dealing with fascism since World War II. We understand. Like, you don't have to be making it any clearer, really. We understand. You want to be neutral. We're seeing it. We're seeing it in action, okay? You don't need to be assuring Russians of it constantly. But it seems that he is very desperate to keep assuring Russians of it, and it's not really nice to watch. But yeah, less important than that. Oh, no, wait, more important. More important than Tate News. European Union Parliament may be suing Commission over releasing funds to Hungary. Because basically one of the rules that Commission has to be respecting is that it must make sure, in all ways possible, it must make sure that tax money from European Union citizens is not being misused. And then our tax money went to Hungary. Which, you know, inherently it means it's going to be misused. You know how Orban and his kleptocracy works. Now, it is true that this money was given to Orban, so he wouldn't be vetoing everything he can veto, right? This is not a good excuse, though, to misuse our money. There's ways of dealing with Orban's vetos. Our way of dealing with that is not misusing the tax cash money of European Union residents. So yeah, the Parliament is going to sue the Commission, and I think it's definitely, absolutely deserved. I'm so happy for this. I was so happy when I saw this news. So yes. Do you think being pro-peace in the war is necessarily pro-Russian? I think the only way to be pro-peace in this war is to advocate for Russian soldiers to be evaporated. You cannot be pro-peace while calling for another round of negotiations, knowing that we had Minsk 1, Minsk 2, Steinmeier formula, all three of them broken by Russia, while killing more Ukrainians and taking more ground. If you call for another round of peace negotiations, knowing they took a crap on all the previous ones, you are knowingly playing into the hands of fascists. What you're doing is basically knowing how the Munich betrayal is going to play out, and you're willing to sign it anyways. I don't think that's being pro-peace. I think that's being stupid. That is not being pro-peace in any sort of a way. Pope is not being pro-peace. You cannot be pro-peace and then watch one side attempt to genocide another and then say that the victim of this genocide campaign has to negotiate. That is not a pro-peace opinion. That is false neutrality, which is, again, exactly the same thing that the church did during World War II. They refused to condemn the Holocaust. The fucking Holocaust. The Pope knew, and he was silent. Right? He fucking knew. He was doing his little, yeah, we should be helping victims of war everywhere. He refused to condemn the genocide. He knew very well what he was doing. Our Pope right now knows very well what he is doing too. You can't be pro-peace if you do not support evaporation of genocidal soldiers. So yeah, that's my full view on it. Where were we on this? Man. Incredibly sad. Incredibly. You're pro-sex? Same. I think sex is great. Everyone should be having sex all the time. Maybe people would be more loving if they had more sex. Yes, saw the news on a supposed, I saved that too, supposed new round of aid that is going to be revealed by USA. Here it is, Reuters, so we know it's good. All right, Reuters. Let's be hopeful. Okay, we need some shit. We really need some shit. This will be great. This will be incredible news. Number of anti-personnel, anti-material, APAM, older version of the long-range ATACMS, which travels 100 miles. Carries warheads containing hundreds of cluster bomblets. Yes. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Man, we could fucking end this in a day. Oh, this pisses me off so much. We could have had this. We could have had this already. We could have had this so much earlier, but alright, we're having something. We're having something. It counts. It counts. Also, not too good news, because we're talking about summer, and summer is a bit too far away, alright? But European Union is supposed to send Ukraine the first profit from frozen Russian assets. So let's be happy on that too, right? Let's be happy on that. Cash money going to be coming. Cash money going to be coming. Not as soon as I would hope for it to be coming, but it's something. It's something. It signals a move. There's a move happening, alright? USA is doing something. There are limits to Ukraine military aid, then sending it later. Why do you think he does this? Biden? I don't think the aid he sent has been breaking the limits, supposed limits, unless we speak about different limits. But the reason I think he does this is because Biden, in the same way as Scholz, in the same way as Macron, even though Macron has been fixing it recently, let's be happy about that. In the same way, like a lot of our leaders, Biden didn't expect this to be as serious as it is. I do believe Biden, at the start of the war, thought this situation was not winnable. I do believe that he, just like Germans, believe that Ukraine has no way of defending itself, and the idea was, hey, yeah, basically we're just gonna let Russia do whatever it wants. And then it turned out that Ukraine is more than capable of defending itself, and then it turned out that, hey, our ally state now is fighting against a genocide attempt. We're gonna look like shit if we do not help. Plus, we're going to be bringing the entire NATO into danger, and then if an attack on a NATO country happens, we're going to be obliged to respond, because if we do not respond, then the entire world order breaks, right? And USA benefits from the current world order. So I think he's understanding the severity of the situation much better now, and yeah, that's why I think that a lot of things that he said he is not going to send, he is sending us. More and more Americans against financing the war. I think USA is dealing with an interesting pre-election campaign. I think there's a lot of misinformation being shared in USA. I don't necessarily blame American citizens as much as I would blame the grifters. I think USA has created a system in which a lot of people are having the ability to have a lot of influence that they shouldn't be having. And because of this, and because of the USA tribalism and politics, they are able to create a situation where a lot of people are just falling for lies, to be honest. It's definitely very concerning, definitely a very, very concerning situation to follow, and definitely a very concerning feeling to watch as a country that is an ally of USA, and a country that has peace thanks to USA. It's definitely very concerning to watch, but I do hope that USA is strong enough as a country and that it can fight against this. I do believe USA has a lot of potential and that democracy is strong. Didn't make sense to send a handful of tanks until the infrastructure was in Ukraine. Okay, yeah, that too. That also makes sense. Yeah. Since the October 7th attacks, America has a newer war. Oh, I do believe there's a lot of focus on Ukraine still in USA, to be fair. I do believe there's still, like, I'm seeing lots of support, personally. I am seeing lots of support. I'm not really seeing a big shift. I know there's this conversational point that Americans are, like, shifting the focus. I haven't really seen that, personally. I haven't really seen that much. But maybe I'm coming, because I am kind of coming from the position of, like, I think Ukraine previously wasn't getting enough attention in USA. I think it already wasn't really being talked enough. And I think right now it's being talked about relatively well, often. considering the situation with, Republicans taking a little break and everything, and then Navalny dying, and that also brought a lot more attention. I think right now we're actually doing alright, to be honest. Ron Johnson saying we orchestrated Yanukovych being ousted. Ukraine would be better off with Yanukovych. Yeah, it's shit like that. The system gives a lot of place for grifters. Like, have you seen, what's her name? Kitchen Katie, the woman who did like an answer to the USA State of the Union? Have you seen her response to criticism she's been getting for lying? Because her response is basically, oh, people are attacking me for being a mother, and they are attacking me for being a wife, and they are attacking me for being Christian, and I am here to be your voice and to be fighting for all you other mothers and wives and Christians. We will get through this together. Like, bitch, they weren't attacking you for being a mother, they were attacking you for lying. But she just ignores that. She's just doing the whole little culture war bullshit. USA is really, really into culture war, so I can't really blame their people for being deluded. It is annoying to speak to them though, but it's, it's one of those things. You look at them and you're like, you poor little thing. Oh, darling, what has happened to you? Do you live in the US? No, I'm Croatian. USA hasn't sent any aid to Israel. Has nothing to do with Ukraine aid. Yeah, they just they connect the topics because it is the part of a larger cultural war conversation. Situation's basically the same for months. Makes sense. Newspapers write less articles. Yeah, that's true. But I genuinely believe that situation was here previously, even prior to the October 7th. I don't really think October 7th attack took attention away from this. Like, you remember last year when people genuinely believed that there was like a ceasefire in Ukraine? You remember that? People being like, oh yeah, there's a ceasefire. Like, what's going to happen now? There wasn't a ceasefire. There was never a ceasefire. It's just that the lines on the map weren't moving much. So because the lines on the map weren't moving much, the newspapers didn't write about it as much. And because the newspapers didn't write about it as much, people just assumed that the war wasn't happening anymore. That was that. It was, I think it slips from people's minds very easily. I don't necessarily think this is unique to USA. I do believe that, by the virtue of meeting up and talking about this regularly, we definitely follow the situation a lot more closely than a lot of other people do. But, for the rest of the world, they just have different topics. That's right. Oh, I'm not good when it comes to... Wait, let me see. Light mobile guided missile heat system are double as heavy, not mobile laser guided AT gun, which takes as much time to be set up and fired as it takes time for the tank to shoot you. About 3 times. Because if you pick number 1, you're an American Western propagandist. Do you hope Biden is re-elected since he supports funding the war? Absolutely. He supports funding Ukraine. So absolutely, I hope he is re-elected, definitely. If Trump is re-elected, his goal is to end this war by allowing Russia to steamroll over Ukraine, which is absolutely concerning. First off, because Russia intends to commit a genocide of Ukrainians. Second off, because Russia, by taking over Ukraine, is going to be closer to NATO countries and is going to present bigger danger to actual NATO members. It already has threatened several NATO members, and it already has attempted to stage a coup in Moldova. I'm definitely worried about the possibility of Russians getting any sort of a victory. Do you think Trump is a good president for the US people? But no, I do not think Biden is as horrible as Trump could ever be. No, definitely when it comes to the comparison of them two for their people, I think Biden is absolutely the better option. So, yeah. Neither Trump nor Biden are any good, but like, come on. Trump is very open about wanting to be a dictator. Trump is the one aligning with Orban and with Putin. What are you saying? One of them is obviously a better option for democracy. This isn't a choice where it's, tough to choose between two evils. One of them is obviously a much smaller evil. Poland joining Czechia's international coalition. Yeah. Thank you, Poland. Nice. Happy to see that. Very happy to see that. He wants Trump to win because as president he can't just drop Ukraine, and Democrats in opposition are less dangerous than Republicans. We need Democrats in opposition to have unity of supporting Ukraine. You know what's my problem? When you have a man who is very open about wanting to be a dictator, the idea that he is supposed to be controlled by any sort of democratic systems falls apart. Right? It's like, again, I think we mentioned this on the live stream, but it's like when people voted Lukashenko into power, and it was like, oh yeah, well, you know, he's a bit authoritarian, but he can stay for 2 terms, and then he's gonna have to step down. And it's like that, like, you really think he's gonna be allowing opposition in the way they have opposition today? Man's very open about wanting to be a dictator. Expecting a dictator to be controlled by a democratic system, I believe, is a sure way to basically, you know that little story about like putting a frog into a pot of water and then slowly warming the water up until it boils and the frog is cooked alive? That's basically what you're doing. That's basically the way I see it. Like, hey, yo, how's Spain doing? So yeah, I think it's a big gamble, huge risk. Nice reward if it works, but huge risk that I personally would not really take. I would not feel safe taking. A dude here decided to sit on his excavator and destroy the facade. The PSO headquarters in his city. Nice. Oh no, I also wish the Democrats had run anyone else, definitely. I can agree with that. I do wish the Democrats had someone younger to be representing them. I don't think Biden is demented, to be fair. I don't think he's as bad as people are trying to present him to be, but he is an old man. He is pension ready. Definitely I do wish they ran someone else. They didn't though. And in a situation where they didn't, yeah, it's basically like you got Trump or you got Biden. We can say that we wish Democrats chose someone else. That's a valid thing to say, pointing out to the fact that, you know, they're both old as fuck, is also important. But like still, you are aware, there is one normal option to vote for. There's like one option to vote for, which is not a man who wants to be a dictator. You know, it's not really complex. It shouldn't be a complex decision to make. Yeah, and then also, yeah, Trump also being an old man doesn't really present option B as any better. Oh, yeah, Shitbekino was on fire today, by the way. That might be a side, but Shitbekino was on fire. Oh, that was good. Hui. Beginning of the elimination of Muscovites began at 5 in the morning and continues to this day. Oh, damn. They partially retreated to reserve positions located outside villages. Reserves, in particular the forces of the Russian Guard, are being drawn into the regions. Representatives of the Legion Freedom of Russia made a statement about the start of active actions to liberate their territory from the occupation authorities. They also called on interested citizens to join the liberation of the territories. Now, if you know my views on Russia, I don't believe there's going to be many interested citizens, or any at all. I do very much see this as basically a suicide mission, which, like, you know, all glory to people doing it, and I hope they inflict enough damage on Russia so we might actually see any sort of a shift, really. But I don't really believe lots of Russians are going to be interested in helping. First car with Russian license plates was seized in Lithuania from a citizen of Moldova who went to Belarus and allegedly did not know about the ban. How could he not have known about the ban? It's going to be given to Ukraine though, so that's good. Hope it happens to every single one of them. Since the world forgot the amnesty of the Catalan separatists. Oh shit, yeah, true. PSO picked up the law again, reached an agreement with a separatist party that rules Catalonia, and the amnesty is now signed all of a sudden. Oh, is that legal? No. Did someone notice? Just inside Spain, so who cares? Oh, damn! Oh, oh, that's shitty. Oh, that's a horrible, horrible situation. I guess another democracy that's not really doing too well, huh? Wait, did I save? No, I didn't save anything on Spain. I didn't save anything on Spain. I saved Portugal, I think, only. And also I saved this video on like why autocracies have elections. Which we will be having to watch, but not today, because today is short stream day, okay? Today is basically I feed you the news and then I go because my kitchen is on the way to coming. Oh yeah, also Russia has banned the entry of 2 Baltic PMs and top officials, one of them being Kaja Kallas. Kaja Kallas. I live in the US and I'm feeling the financial burden that has been put on you. Do you not understand what's going to be a financial burden if Russia wins in Ukraine? Do you not understand what is going to be a financial burden on every single country member of NATO if Russia wins in Ukraine? This financial burden is nothing. This financial burden that we are going through right now is basically nothing, my man. It's going to get so much fucking worse if we have to get involved in a war. And you know we're going to have to get involved in a war, right? This is only going to get worse with every second we allow Russians to keep believing in their delusion of an empire. No, there's no entitled bullshit. You're saying bullshit. Entitlement Ukrainians are showing? What sort of a crap opinion is that? We promised them security. We promised to come to their aid if their country is invaded, and we did nothing. Entitlement? What fucking entitlement? Every single Ukrainian that died as a result of this invasion is partially the fault of the West for allowing Russia to do it in the first place. We could have stopped this years ago. I did watch other streamers. But also, what? You think the source of news should be other streamers? The fuck are you saying? Who should I be watching? Skadefron? We promised Ukraine safety. We signed security agreements with Ukraine. We did nothing when they got invaded. Entitlement? What a crap opinion. Combat kamikaze FPV drones have been proven to destroy Russian most modern tank. Military, I think Russian most modern tank is an interesting way to say old tank, but a bit modernized. So, you know, Russian most modern tank isn't the same thing as USA most modern tank would mean. But yeah. Look, it was easy. No, I don't say let's agree to disagree when you are supporting fascists. I don't say let's agree to disagree. You're supporting pulling the funds away from a country victim of a genocidal invasion. We do not agree to disagree. Your opinion is primitive. We do not agree to disagree. Yes, you support fascists by pretending there is Ukrainian entitlement and by calling to stop giving them funds, by calling it funding the war in the first place, were your specific words. But then also by pretending Ukrainian entitlement is a reason to stop supporting victims of a genocidal invasion onto their country. Yes, you are supporting fascists. It is inherently supporting fascists. Ukrainians are so entitled to not being genocided. Think about me facing 3% inflation. They are showing entitlement. Bro, this is not Twitter. This is not Twitter, and I am not an American. Okay, my hobby is not eating shit. I do not engage in those little semantic arguments. That's like, you know, when people go, I didn't call you a bitch. I said you're acting like a bitch. Like this distinction genuinely changes nothing in the situation. I just have different opinion. Keep supporting invading country. Yeah. I just have a different opinion. Why are Ukrainians so entitled? And my gas is so expensive. Can't they just be genocided faster so I don't have to keep on thinking about them anymore? That's a crap opinion. We're not gonna agree to disagree. Where was I on this? Eastern Ukraine joins Russia, Ukraine joins NATO, not a deal, but the meat grinder is over. No, the meat grinder is not over. What have Russians been doing on occupied territories of Ukraine? What has been happening in Crimea since 2014 when Russians took over? The meat grinder is not over. Russians will keep on attempting ethnic cleansing on every single piece of land that they will have control over. What's going on in Georgia? Are you not aware of them murdering Georgian civilians? Civilians, unarmed civilians who went to pray in a church. And they murdered them. Are you insane? Russia is going to continue murdering for as long as we allow them to keep the delusion of the empire going. The only way to stop the bloodshed is to kick Russians back into the borders of Russia. Any sort of perceived victory means they're going to keep killing civilians. Yeah, of course the war is horrible for Eastern Ukrainians, which is why we should help them. Perfect plan on winning this war: send Ukraine enough military equipment so they can evaporate Russian soldiers. Kick Russians back into the borders of Russia. Press peace button, or press peace button. Maybe press peace button too. Keep funding Ukraine. Then why the hell would you support Trump? How your words are making no sense. You want to keep funding Ukraine, but then previously you were complaining about Americans having to face higher costs. You said you support Trump. You asked me if I support Biden being re-elected. I said yes. You said yikes. Who else do you think is a choice? There's no other choice. It's Trump or Biden. There's not going to be anyone else winning. You're gonna vote for a third party? That means giving more possibility for Trump to win. There's no other choice. It's Trump or Biden. No, this war is not between states. This war is not between states. That is bullshit. Civilians of Russia are volunteering to support a genocidal invasion of Ukraine. Civilians of Ukraine are attempting to defend themselves on their own land, in their own homes, on their own territory. Their civilians are not equal. Yeah, like rising food prices, yikes, Biden re-elected for funding the war, ew. Let me vote for a third option so I can get Trump re-elected. 90% of Russians are warmongers, definitely. Now look, warmongers actively, we could maybe argue about that, but complicit at least, definitely. There's not going to be any sort of opposition to this war coming from Russia at any point. Difficult night in Kursk. Tyotkina is being held. They say Russian police were the first to escape from the settlement. Nice. Nice. By the way, don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. We had a situation last year. You remember what happened last year? It was going good. It was going great. It was going incredibly well. And then nothing really changed in the bigger picture, right? Don't get too hopeful until we see like actual huge moves. Be aware of how much copium is healthy to be ingested in a short amount of time. Isn't fascism, in short, described by militarism, authority, centralized autocracy, and forcible suppression of opposition, and can include revanchism? There's one country that comes to mind. No, it's definitely supporting Russians in any sort of way is supporting fascism, supporting Trump is supporting Russians inherently. At this point, supporting MAGA definitely is supporting Russians. When it comes to Republicans themselves, yeah, let's just say they have some interesting votes within the party, but I do believe that as a group they are rather dangerous. I do believe that as a group they can't really be trusted. Another 8 package. What year is this? 2022. It's supposed to be a good one. I mean, we're gonna get ATACMS munition. 300 million worth of weapons. That's something. It's something. It's something. So I'm kind of hyped about that. I'm kind of positive about it. It's a move. Let's say it like that. It's a move. It's something that they're doing. It's an action. Is it enough of an action? We can debate that. We could fight about that. But I'm happy about them at least doing something, if you know what I mean. I'm happy about them at least doing something. What else did I want to show you? Just dozens of missiles. I'm hoping for hundreds. Tyotkina, Kursk Oblast, liberated. Say this, but it's USA, and it's USA. Who cares? They're saying tank of the Russian Volunteer Corps broke through the defense of the state border of Russian Federation. Now they're calling this a movement to liberate Russia. We read this previously too. Again, don't get too hopeful. Do not get too hopeful. But we can have a little bit of hope. Tiny bit of hope is alright. Tiny bit of hope is alright. Don't get too much into it. Supporting any of the two equals to supporting Morocco. Both fund their military and recognize Sahara as Moroccan. Morocco here in Spain is always a funny topic. Then at the same time, supporting one of the two means supporting the enemies of the free world, and supporting, the other one means supporting an allied country. So, but I'm always, I think it's because of me being Balkan. Geopolitically, I'm always a little bit, how to say it? I understand where those types of arguments are coming from. I don't really take them too seriously. And I think the reason I'm not taking them too seriously is in big part because there was also, what like Kosovars or Serbs are trying to say about the situation, or Bosnians even sometimes, that, oh yeah, well, we can't support Russia or Ukraine because, these are the foreign policy takes that we disagree with them on. But surely you should be aware that the foreign policy takes of both Russia and Ukraine, first off, don't change the fact that one country here is a clear aggressor and attempting a genocide, while the other country is a victim of a foreign aggression attempting to defend itself. Right? Like, it's not, oh, we disagree with the foreign policy takes of Ukraine, so we can't really support them. They're victims of an invasion onto their territory. Of an invasion that also threatens you as a NATO member. Malim! Oh, by the way, my kitchen's here, so we'll be having to end. I'm happy we went through the news. If the kitchen is loaded very, very quickly, we might return, but possibly not. We will be here tomorrow. So prepare some beers, and let's get hyped for Russia burning even more, because I'm very, very happy about that. Also, yeah, I don't know, I guess go watch other streamers to learn some news from them, maybe.